uh, that's a former Michigan Groundwater Association president and a National Groundwater board member that asked that question. And he's a very smart man, and he's grown his business, and his daughter and children are in it. And they have a good idea. They're in a tough area. So none of us ever want to quit. I had a project earlier this year where it should have been an 137-foot well that should have taken 1 day. And I spent a week and had 4 dry holes because the plot restriction limited where I could screen, and every time we got into that zone it was dirty and it didn't produce enough water for me to feel comfortable leaving it with that house. So the question comes in, how is my contract written? Like, do I have a dry hole clause into the contract? What else could happen? Is there a better option of bringing in somebody that's got a hammer and subcontracting this and taking the lump on that and not taking 5 days worth of lost work? It comes down to risk versus reward. And if it was a couple bad choices and we can get the project turned back, great. But if it's a catastrophic issue and we know that we're not prepared to do it, we either have to buy the right equipment or we have to realize that we need to ask our great community for help. And that's why some of our neighbors have larger drill rigs and some have smaller. It depends on the footprint and where we're getting into and how we want to think about working on it. So I don't ever want to call it quits, but sometimes I need to come up with a better plan. And sometimes that better plan is that I'm not the expert to be drilling this hole right now. I'm sure that's a hard. I grew up in a drilling family with a United States Marine. Marines don't quit, right? So there's times where in cable tool, the rotary went out and did 7 holes, and the cable tool stomped on a rock for a week and a half. And it's bandwidth. If I'm going to have this problematic project, do I have another piece of equipment to keep up with all the stuff, or am I going to continue to throw good money into a bad situation and lose all of the good business that I could have had that could have positively impacted the rest of that month or the rest of that year? So it's being smart. It's not about quitting the project. It's about being smart and understanding that sometimes we're not capable of doing everything that we're going to do, and that our time is better utilized with more money elsewhere.